Hello, house churches. It's an up week this week, and so you're gathering together in your homes and you get a chance to share what God showed you as you guys been reading the biblical passages on YouVersion and talk about the sermon. And so to maybe engage some questions for you first, let's start with the question I had. And the question I ask myself, I guess, quite a bit is there's something that I've not submitted to with God. And so I encourage you to talk about that with your house church. Is there an area of your life that you have not submitted to God? And so really God calls us like, it's not like I want part of your life, I want your whole life. And so talk about some things that maybe are a struggle for you to let go of. And maybe we can pray about that in your house church as well. My light bulb moment for me was that submission brings permission, or submission brings authority. And so it's so important that we are submitted to God. And so a light bulb for me was like, what's holding me back? What are there things in my life that are holding me back from submitting? And it's often, if I don't have a revelation of the goodness of God, that it's hard for me to submit to God. So if you spend time meditating and thinking about all the ways that God is actually good, and you look at the life of Jesus, it's easier to submit. And in that, you gain the authority to live the way he wants us to live. The arrow for me is a question of like, what are you going to do? And we talked a little bit about the purpose of being blessed in your life. Everything that you have is really to bless others. Everything you have, God wants to bless your life so you can be like him and go give people what you have. My wife, Kirsten, and I struggled with this early on when we got our first home, and we were looking at the things that we have and bills to pay, and we're like, we actually don't have much. Like, our bottom line is like, we're maxed out and there's nothing I have to give. But it's important that we just look in our hand and you look at the things that you do have. And we had at the time had a house. Well, we didn't have any kids. We had a couple extra bedrooms. So we started taking people into our home. Our home became a place that we just gave back to God, and it became a place for sober living. It became a place for displaced families that were moving to come and stay for a while, and we had people coming and going. And so we just said, you know what, God, you gave us a home, and it's actually your home, and we're just choosing to give it back to you to bless others who need a home, need a place of refuge and restoration. And so just take a look at what you have and just think about the things you have and saying, what could I share with those around me? I hope you guys have a great week together as you talk a little bit about these ideas at House Church and get a chance to pray for one another. Get a chance to pray for people who do not know Jesus yet, as we talked a little bit about salvation, and we want people in our life to experience the same saving power we have. And so pray for them, and let's be hands and feet, and let's go love them and call them into the family as well. God bless you. Have a great week.